1948, the year that marked the beginning of something special. In a time when the NFL was growing and semi-pro teams were extremely popular, yet the most ardent and loyal of crowds were reserved for high school football. On the shores of the Delaware and in the shadows of Philadelphia, there lies a blue-collar town which boasts some of the most passionate fans you will see and hear. When they cheer, the ground shakes in their euphoria, and their collective roar is heard throughout the land. And much like other small blue-collar towns, the feelings were personal, since everyone knows everyone, as is the case. Houses and friendships are divided on this day, as true companions and relatives, both on the field and in the stands, wage war against each other for the next 2.5 hours. Hard-nosed, smash-mouth battles have and are currently waged on hard, frozen turf that offers no forgiveness, much like the hits, as well as the trash talk. And though 27 years passed before they met once again, it did not dilute the joy nor the vitriol that comes when these two teams clash. Rather, they were merely amplified and have led to a greater atmosphere, one befitting for two rivals so intrinsically linked together. On a brisk autumn day 72 years ago, 3,500 spectators crammed into Old Charles Street Stadium and bore witness to a rivalry that transcended generations. And now, on Market Street at J.A. Lynch Field, that rivalry continues once more. This is the City Series, Lions versus Rams. This is Gloucester High versus Gloucester Catholic.
The Gloucester High, Gloucester Catholic football rivalry, it's truly one of the best rivalries in South Jersey. Obviously there's a lot of history involved. Me personally, some of the most meaningful history for me is that I know my father played in maybe the first 2 games, if I'm not mistaken. And, I know that, from reading the articles, because my father wasn't someone that would really talk about his exploits, but from reading the articles, I know that, he had a really, really great day. Like I said, he wasn't the kind of guy that really felt comfortable talking about himself, but I remember seeing a little trophy that he kept up on his dresser, which was the MVP for the City Series. So, the trophy was maybe about an 8-inch trophy, but obviously to have kept it all those years, it must have meant a great deal to him. And then, obviously the series continued, I believe through 1965. I could be mistaken. Basically, what happened at the time, Gloucester was a member of the Tri-County Conference, and the Tri-County expanded to 10 teams, which then allowed no out-of-conference games. So, unfortunately, to the chagrin of both schools, the rivalry ended. And then basically what happened, from say 65 until 93, the schools did not meet. And in 1993, Gloucester Catholic, they entered the Tri-County Conference, which made the rivalry possible once again. When we first resumed the rivalry in 1993, we did not play it on Thanksgiving because Gloucester High School's rivalry at that time was Delsey. That had begun in 1960, and that continued probably, I think, till maybe around 2000 or 2001, and that's when we resumed playing Gloucester Catholic on Thanksgiving. It was pretty unique when the rivalry resumed in 1993. It was just, I don't think probably any of the years were as unique as that, just because the anticipation. As I mentioned earlier, we really didn't play on Thanksgiving. I think it was like week 5. But as much as you told your players that, it was just another game or, whatever it was really, really hard for the players to wait until week 5. And the anticipation was so incredible. You know, I just remember all the build-up, the people around town. I remember the TV station at the time, TAD. They did a pregame show at the old, I believe it was the Holiday Inn at the time, and you know, had like all kinds of guests. Probably 200 people attended just to see the TV show. And then the next day was just, you know, it was just crazy. You know, how many people were there. It wasn't a seat in the stands, and people were lined, you know, 2 or 3 deep all the way around the fence. So it was really, you know, really an incredible experience for the players. And, you know, it remained so over the year. I mean, I think it would be hard to top the excitement of that when it resumed. But, you know, year after year, it's always been pretty good. You know, I think the great thing about a rivalry is that a true rivalry, I believe, makes both schools better. And it brings out the very best in both schools. And that's what this game, you know, has done over the year. I'm very happy when it went to Thanksgiving, because that became part of, you know, a different entity in itself, because Thanksgiving is just such an awesome day. I used to tell the players every year, I said, man, it's the best day of the year. Anytime you can have, like, you know, football, food, and family, you know, that was the focus of those days. I mean, those are like, you know, to me, those are like 3 of the essentials to living. So that was a pretty good day. So I've had kind of a unique, you know, perspective on the rivalry. As I mentioned, going back even to, you know, my father, and I believe it was maybe 48 and 49. So, you know, and reading about, you know, his exploits. And then, of course, you know, I never had the opportunity as a player, which, you know, I know everybody played that era wishes that we did, but we didn't have that opportunity. And then had it as a coach, probably got to be the head coach for about, I'd say, 20 of these games, somewhere in that vicinity. And now I get to come back and enjoy it as a fan. And I think that the things that people maybe in other towns that don't have something like this don't realize, like, they'll see it from the outside and they'll just say, wow, that's really amazing that guys come through this game, they come back and watch the game. Many of them return to coach in the game. Like, for instance, you know, both coaches, obviously, that will be involved in this year's game are former players at the school and got to play in those games. So that's something that people from the outside really see as being really unique. And, you know, unfortunately for us, we take it for granted, because we've been blessed to have those kind of things. You know, as I said earlier, you know, Thanksgiving just had a special feel about it. You know, when you were on the field pregame, saw a lot of people that maybe you hadn't seen in a while. It was great to see them. And that's what's exciting about coming back now. I guess the last 5 or 6 years, I haven't missed a game. I've been able to come, you know, with my daughter and her husband. And it's interesting to see their perspective on it. They, you know, how neat they think it is. I sit in the same spot every year, up at the top of the bleachers with basically the same group of people. And it's just a, you know, really, really, you know, special thing to be able to do. I know this year with the COVID restrictions, we're not going to be able to do that, but I certainly look forward to doing that for many years in the foreseeable future.
Hi everybody, I'm Ed Malone, Gloucester High School class of 2000, and I was asked to say a few words about the Gloucester High Gloucester Catholic football game. I was fortunate enough to experience this rivalry both as a player and a coach, and some of my fondest football memories have come from the Gloucester High Gloucester Catholic game. As a player, what I remember most about the game was the importance of the game, and as a sophomore and a junior, Gloucester High School was Group 2 for playoff seeding, and many of our opponents were Group 1, so we knew if we wanted to make the playoffs and even have a shot at a home game, we had to beat Gloucester Catholic. And those 2 years that we were Group 2, we did defeat Gloucester Catholic early in the season, and catapulted us to some great success in the playoffs those years. As a coach, some of the memories I have of the game are the energy that it created around town and in the school and with the football team that you can never duplicate. No matter how our season ended, if we didn't have a great year and we had a consolation game, or if we won a couple playoff games, No matter how it ended, you knew our guys were going to be ready to play on Thanksgiving because it was Gloucester Catholic. We didn't have to say much to pump them up or get them focused. They knew the task at hand, and they were ready to go when Thanksgiving rolled around. Every year as a coach, we would set goals, and as a head coach, we set 3 goals, and those goals were always the same. We wanted to win the division, we wanted to make the playoffs, and we wanted to beat Gloucester Catholic. And no matter any of the former players you may run into and talk to them about the season, guys seem to have a more detailed recollection of those Gloucester Catholic games than the other ones. For many of the guys, especially on Thanksgiving, it's the last time they'll ever play football in their lives. So they know the importance of the game. They realize that every single play is going to be their last one time, and they just give their hearts and play as hard as they can. And you never have to ask them to give any more energy, because from the opening kickoff to that last whistle, those guys are flying around and they realize what's at stake. Remember being a coach and talking to guys in town, and even in the preseason, when they're asking about your team and they're asking who's playing certain positions, how's your schedule look, and they always manage to ask that one question at the end of the conversation. They say, so we're going to beat Gloucester Catholic this year? And it could be August, it could be July, and guys are already circling that date on their calendar. So this year, I'll be watching as well as all the other Lions fans and hope that Gloucester High pulls it out. We hope you guys enjoy these replays on Channel 19 and on the Lions News Network. Hope everyone has a great day, and go Lions.
The rivalry meant a lot growing up. It was something that was new to the city. I think when I got into high school, before that, I believe Gloucester High had played Glasgow High School on Thanksgiving, and it changed throughout the decades. But in 2002, when I got into high school, when we played the freshman level, the JV level, and the varsity level. And it was special. It was very exciting to be a part of it. And I think what made it really special was you just got done playing with those kids in the Mustangs, and the youth level. It's not so much like that now. A lot of the kids at the Mustangs level go on to play for Gloucester High, but at the same time, you not only played against some of the kids you formed relationships with growing up in town, but other kids who you played against, maybe Glassboroughs or Washington Townships, or Interborough, Pine Hill. Those kids, some of those kids would be playing for Catholic, so you got to really play against the kids who you grew up playing against. They were just all formed on the one team with Gloucester Catholic. So growing up was really special, and it was something that I miss as a player, and it's something I always remember. I remember very vividly a lot of the plays from back when I was a freshman player, back when I was a JV player, back when I was a varsity player. That's what it means a lot to you. And now, there's so much talk nowadays about getting rid of some of the Thanksgiving Day games around the state. And I know for us, we're unmatched by any other town around us. I've been a part of, as a coach, the Gateway Woodbury rivalry, and the Haddon Township Audubon Thanksgiving game, and the Haddonfield Haddon Heights game. They're unmatched by this one. This is huge. And if you just take a moment on Thanksgiving just to look around and just take in the sights, the crowds, the fans, the amount of people that come to this game, it's unmatched by any other rivalry in the area. And it's special. It says a lot about our city. It says a lot about how much we care about our kids. And it says a lot about our tradition here. So, this rivalry is not going anywhere. As much as some of these are dropping off, and some of these games are going away, ours is staying. And I think we're all in support of that. Some of the memories as a coach here, my first year in 2018, we lost that game, and we started off strong as a game where we started off in the opening drive and went down the field and scored. But that game we faded. And in 2019, we played so many young guys in 2018. 2019, the kids now all had a year of experience, and we played a lot better. We pulled out, in the third quarter to a lead, and we didn't get a chance. We didn't finish. Gloucester Catholic finished. They won in overtime, and I believe that's the first overtime game between the two sides. So there was a lot of big moments in that game. A game that I know that our guys feel like they should have had, but that's also a game that's fueled us ever since. We've been motivated by the outcome of that game for an entire year now, and our kids are having that opportunity to avenge that defeat and make things right. And I know they're motivated, they're fueled to do that. So that's what's going to make this game very special. Just tack on the rivalry. You can tack on the hatred all you want, but last year's loss it was crushing. It was very difficult to speak to the team right after that. But at the same time, it's motivated these kids to want to go out there and prove that, that they're the better team. And I have all the confidence in the world that they're going to do that. So this game is going to be special. It's going to be very exciting. And I'm glad our kids have the opportunity to do it amidst all this COVID stuff that both schools have been going through. It's been a lot of pressure and it's been a lot of stress on the players, on the coaching staffs on both sides, and the administration on both sides. So kudos to everybody involved into this thing that's happening on Saturday. We made it this far, and we want to make sure we send our seniors out the right way to give them a chance to play against Catholic. And it's going to be special. We're excited, and our kids are right now. They're getting ready to rock and roll. We've had we're 2 weeks off from quarantine because of that last game we played. So our kids are having one practice in person before the game. So, and I know there's a lot of disadvantages to that, but we're trying to use the upside. We should have no problem at having the mental aspect of this game down. We should be healthy. So we're even though there's disadvantages, we're trying to look at all the positives and all the advantages of going into this one. So, like I said, hey, Saturday, I know it's different. It's not technically on Thanksgiving, but they get a chance to play, and that's what's important now. So, again, we're excited and we're ready to rock and roll. Go Lions.